tell my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out in triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many of me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting like I'ma show 'em how I true it is.
All the time. If you quit on me now, you gonna quit in the classroom. If you quit on me now, you gonna quit on your family. If you quit on me now, you gonna quit on your wife. You gonna quit on your kids.
Wow.
Quitting ain't nothing but a muscle. And if you quitting now, it get real strong.
You know, as a people, we've had these pop culture moments like throughout our history, and it's many. I'm gonna give you a few to give an example. Like I can remember when, like for example, Serena Williams won the first Wimbledon or Venus, one of them, whichever one. Whenever both of them won that
Venus.
first one,
Venus, probably, yeah. Venus.
I remember being in my living room with my family watching it, and we was up and jumping up and down like. We was the biggest tennis fans on the planet. Like it was a moment. It became a moment. I realized it was a moment for black culture.
Like Tiger Woods, right?
Masters in 97.
Yeah, Masters.
For black culture.
Showing our age.
Deion Sanders.
Prime
Coach
time.
Prime is one of the most refreshing moments in black culture in recent history that has me full right now.
Phenomenon right now, yes sir.
Buffalo shirt in the mail.
Let's go.
Looking up how much it costs to fly to Boulder and Wikipedia, reading about Boulder.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm in.
I'm in.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
That's a serious phenomenon. It's so joyful. There's so many levels to it. Behind all of the criticism, behind all of the personalities, behind Shador flexing. I don't have the,
I got
he got it. I'm not even on.
Hold
I'm
on.
not even on that.
He ain't doing like that, is he?
he-
I think he doing like that.
Yeah,
What?
Oh.
Yeah, he do like that. He's shining on him. He's shining on him.
And behind all of that is a black man loving, sowing into, developing his children. And to me, it looks so beautiful when I see the love between all of them.
Absolutely.
What y'all think about Coach Prime, man?
Absolutely.
Love it. I've been a fan from college, from Florida State days to the NFL days, baseball days. So I'm loving it. I know a lot of people hating on him, but when you see, again, the relationship with him and his son, and even his junior, right, who plays some college ball. That's
South Carolina. And he the social media guy now.
Exactly. So he played one of them Texas schools, I believe.
He did.
Yeah.
The one Shiloh went to South
Shiloh
Carolina.
went to South Carolina.
Oh, Shiloh
one
went to
that's
South
a
Carolina.
safety.
Okay.
Yeah. And just seeing the love, and obviously with his daughter as well playing basketball, man.
Yeah.
And that's what we all want to do. I think it's phenomenal, and it's more. They playing sports, but it's still more about the love, the relationship, the building something with your family.
Do you have an example of something that caught your attention, the love?
Hey, man, I coached my boys in football, basketball. Didn't know anything about lacrosse, but I helped one of my assistant coaches coach my son in lacrosse.
Oh, did you? I don't remember.
Yeah. I was like, he was like, help me coach. I said, I don't know nothing about it.
That's dope.
He said, I'll teach you. You know the fundamentals of defense and footwork, blah, blah, blah. But just spending that time with your children and me loving it so much. And then when they get a certain age, you let them go and play for other folks, right? But for him, who had played at the highest level, on a Hall of Fame level, and now to be able to coach his kids at the highest level of college football, it's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And you know, and they got the talent. They doing it. It ain't no nepotism thing. They out there making it happen and doing it. And I love it.
Yeah, people can't be mad at that. People can't be mad at that at all. You know, despite all the controversy of his leaving at HBCU, after bringing them up, it's not as if he left them hanging. You know what I mean? It's not as if he.
That's still a big controversy. It's a lot of people that still believe he sold out.
Yeah, and
Jackson
but
State.
the bigger thing is what it was pointed out.
Did he sell out?
That's.
Nah, I don't
Nah.
think he sold out.
I wouldn't say so. It depends on the perspective and where he's looking. You know, who's looking at what.
You can look at it as he sold out, or when he went to Jackson State, did he buy in?
Come on now.
You
He
know,
bought in.
Hey,
I thought he bought in.
He bought in.
And people can always, it is, my man Myron Golden likes to talk about the law of polarity, where it's two sides to every coin. And you can look at it from the negative perspective, or you can look at it from a positive perspective. And so Deion going to Jackson State, to me, was Deion buying in. And what he did for that community. And when you in a community where they struggling with clean water and the resources and all the resources and the economic impact he brought to that community, it was tremendous. And it's just like anything else, you know. I think you can look at as Deion buying in, and he showed you what it could be. And now as an administrator or as a leader of that institution, you got to go out and start bringing some of that same level of expectation to that environment again.
Right.
Just because Deion gone don't mean we saw what could be done here. So now that he's gone, well, it was just only because Deion was
Hey,
it.
man.
No, he set a standard and an expectation.
That should carry on
And he
beyond that,
showed you
beyond
what
his
could
tenure.
happen in this environment.
I
So
look at
let's
it
build on that.
as a beautiful relationship, right? Sometimes you want someone together for a couple of years, right? And it don't work out for the long term, right?
Right.
But both you and the other person benefited from this. So there's no way Jackson State can't benefit from this. There's no way Deion hasn't benefited from this as
Right.
well. You know what I
he
mean?
did.
And you got to continue to elevate instead of talk about what could have, should have been. Because Jackson State obviously has had multiple Hall of Famers in the NFL, right?
Before Deion got there.
Exactly. Deion had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And Deion is sharp because Jackson State has led what I call 1AA, but what is it, FCS in attendance for years.
FCS.
You know, so
That's why he chose Jackson.
Exactly. So they've always had a tradition. They've always had phenomenal attendance and support. And but yeah, I think it was a great relationship.
Chile, how come you don't think he sold out? Why don't you think he sold out?
I believe, like Joaquin said, I believe he bought in. And I hadn't really been following like most people.
We're the least sports dudes.
Yeah.
In the group.
So I hear things, right?
So I hear.
I mean, I'm just being straight with you. I mean, I'm not. Well, anyway, I'll take it from there. But I don't think he sold out. I mean, when he was there, he was dedicated. He supported. I was told, I don't know for facts, but I was told by many people that he took his own funds and put back into the organization. And so when you do things like that, that's telling me the type of caliber of person we dealing with here. That's telling me that they believe in what they doing, regardless of how things was off the field with, him, people stealing stuff from him in the locker room and all that stuff. I mean, you bring them that much good and then they still take from you. And that's so frustrating. So, hey,
man,
I don't know if it's facts.
It's true.
Hey, I don't know it's facts, but I tell you one thing. I done heard it from 100 people. Gotta be some truth, right? And so he ain't sold out. And let me tell you.
You give your life to sacrifice for your people.
Hey, and look, let me tell you something. They stole
I
him.
done gave y'all money in the kitchen. I
Hey,
done donated $500. Y'all took my watch.
yeah, I took my watch, my wallet, everything, right? Man, you think I wouldn't have took the first thing smoking? Woo! I'd have took the first thing smoking. And I would have turned around and say, damn y'all. Hey, boom. Y'all said what the hell y'all want? Fix this mess. I'd have been gone. Yeah, sell that out. And if you don't like it, you go fix it.
He left it in better shape than it was.
Let me tell you one thing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
All in.
all of the perspectives do not respect. No, just hey, look, check this out. This is what I saw in Jackson, man. See, we got a problem in the social media era, and we got to be careful with our sons and your daughter too, James, about teaching them to do their homework.
Right.
My sons will laugh at me because this is Tariq might know the social media YouTube personality J Main out of Chicago. He's a little hilarious old black dude. He always tells me, man, do your homework on this. Do your homework on that, right? We got to do our homework on what happened down there. What happened down there was he signed a 3-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. Guess how long?
3 years.
It was 2. It was
When the
3.
COVID
including-
year.
One was a COVID year,
Yeah.
and the 2 other years. He signed a contract. Or say if it was 2, if I'm wrong. Okay, 2 or 3. Many college football coaches leave in 2 or 3 years or get fired in 2 or 3 years. I'm always of the thought about this. Don't criticize people for leaving a job when they can get fired without cause and can't do nothing about it.
Absolutely.
So they should be able to quit the job whenever they want to quit the job.
Right.
And it's not my job as a black person in the culture to hold Deion responsible for leaving a job that he no longer wants to be at because culturally and community-wise, we needed that for us. That's not his responsibility.
Right.
He gave an example, and we should thank him for what he did. That's my point about it. How long we want him to stay there? I told my son, if he stay there as long as black folks want him to stay there, he'll never leave there.
He'll lose
We
his
would
socks.
never want Deion to leave. We want you right. This is where we want you.
Right.
Right?
That's true. Right.
Deion, same thing he did at Colorado, increased revenue, increased ticket sales, got people with some money in their pocket, got some coaches paid. The coaches that were under him, he's now the head coach, elevated all of them, brought attention to the school. Forget football, forget all of that. The most important thing Deion did was pointed out that there was a funding discrepancy between HBCUs and regular colleges. And that it needed to be dealt with. And if that was dealt with, he wouldn't have the problems at Jackson that he had, and I wouldn't have to leave Jackson and all of this stuff. The millions of dollars that states are now saying, in Maryland, we underfunded Bowie State by $100 million over 20 years. We underfunded Morgan, and in Georgia, we underfunded the state revenue from these schools, and in Mississippi, even worse, where the government has decided to take away the authority of the local government in some areas. It's almost like a police state.
And Brett Favre taking money.
Yeah, right. Brett Favre getting all the welfare money.
Yeah.
So Deion did a wonderful work down there in the midst of us. And we are crabs in a barrel too much when it comes to that. Leave our pimp, be quiet. Because Deion, career-wise, can do what he want to do. And let me make a point back to the fiscal inequity that he pointed out about those colleges. He pointed out a few things, and we all guilty of it. Alumni don't give back, corporations not sewing in, all of that. He brought attention and showed in 1 year, every HBCU that's playing in college football this year on TV can thank Deion.
Wow.
Yeah, for real.
Every last one of them.
Right.
He got all of them on TV. We got the deal because of that.
Yep.
And then beyond that, for the fiscal, he showed you at Colorado, he's showing you what he meant. If you give me the money, if you give me a black man the money and the resources that you're giving these white coaches, right, to work with this tremendous talent that they have, I promise you I can show you that it's a matter of 11 player field and I can get it done. And he's doing it and getting it done bigger than any of them. He ain't won no championship yet, but he give him his 5 years like Saban had at Alabama or wherever he was, because I guarantee you the players coming.
Yeah.
I want
for
my
sure.
son to go there. I want him to get talked to like I'm going to talk to him.
Absolutely.
In the locker room about being a man, about being accountable, about loving your brother, about not quitting. You know, Deion
Absolutely.
right now is performing a mighty work in front of us, man. That's
Hey, let me say this.
Wow.
Do you think he would have been, it even went to Jackson if it wasn't for the George Floyd situation? You know, and I don't.
Well, how do you?
Well,
what's
you
the
know,
correlation?
I've
What's the
actually heard him
correlation?
say that. I've actually heard him say that. You know what I mean?
Oh, that he wouldn't have.
No. Well, I'm not saying that he wouldn't have, but when that happened, that really triggered something in him.
Oh,
To
say-
something led him to because he had coached high school and stuff like that. And I know he was looking
all
to
the way
coach
up
in
through Little
college.
League.
Yeah. And so he had his academy and that sort of thing. But I think that triggered him as well going in there. And it's about young men and helping the men. Football is the vehicle that he's using to turn young boys into men. That's it.
Mhm.
It's simply that.
He called it his ministry.
so you're saying
Exactly.
his thing was, I guess his idea or plan was to prevent young black men from being like George Floyd putting himself.
No, it was like when the
Or what-
George Floyd thing.
What's his
I'm
mission?
able to do.
Yeah. When the George Floyd thing happens, people all around the world said, "What can I do better? What can I do to make a difference? What can I do to make things better?"
Oh, okay.
And he saw that maybe taking his talents into that football environment, into that institution, could highlight some things and change the economic outcomes for that institution, that community.
Exactly.
And so look at what we can do when we shine Deion basically brought his light to Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
And turn it around. And now he's taking that same light
That same energy.
to a white institution.
Right.
And shine the light on that because they needed turning around too. And when you see what he has done for that community, merchandise sales up almost 900% and all that stuff. Like it's phenomenal.
Hey, man.
I think, but what we really want to talk about is not just him at Jackson State or Colorado, is the dynamic between him and his sons.
Yeah.
And what that has been like and how has he managed that, because we have seen on numerous occasions phenomenal athletes and their sons not reach their level.
Right.
Right.
And not saying that his sons will reach, they won't probably.
Magic
what I
Johnson's
mean?
son.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about EJ.
No, I'm
out
just
here.
Hey, I'm gonna go on the limb just real quick and say, Shador could go.
Hey,
He could develop into
they're gonna be
a
pros.
wonderful quarterback, man.
I think he will. But Deion
The
is
best at his
considered
position,
the
though.
best ever at what he
yeah,
did.
yeah.
The best ever.
Yeah.
Now, so we would be talking about Shador outpacing Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That would be the
Saying he
equivalent.
going in Brady
But-
mode every time
Yeah, he does say that.
But
Yeah,
going back
exactly.
to the Jackson State thing, right? People talk big game, but he put his money where his mouth is, right? Not only himself, his children as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He took
he
his
put
son
his-
from an SEC school and came to Jackson State with him. I think Shador's going to Florida Atlantic. FIU.
No. Well, he was a number 77 recruit coming out of high school.
But he was going to play for Willie Taggart.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Because Willie had left Florida
Atlantic
State.
at the time.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic. So I'm like, okay. And so he bought him. So he put his money where his mouth is and gave 3 years. How many people doing that? A lot of people can write a check, right? But he gave his time, effort, energy, sweat, and tears, and put his sons and daughter into that school. You know what I mean?
Forgive me for anybody living in Mississippi, but he moved to Mississippi, bro.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
But he moved to
that
Mississippi.
alone.
Right.
Hey, you talk about his sons, man. I want to get back to that too. The testament about, I think that's what I like most about this whole thing, the entire thing, is the love I see between him and his sons and the other young men that he's a father to.
Yeah.
Jimmy Horn Jr., I don't know if y'all remember the one game
Mm-hmm.
when he was struggling, when he caught the game one time touchdown, and his father's in prison, and he came to the sideline, he'd been having a bad game, and it was him and Deion had his arms on his shoulder. He said, look, later they said what he said. He said, you from Florida, you a dog. He said, your daddy in jail, in prison, watching this game with all his friends. He want to see you show out, man. Don't worry about what just happened. Go out and make some plays for your dad. And then guess what the player did?
Caught the
He
winning
reached
touchdown.
out. No.
Oh,
He reached out to hug Deion, open arms, both hands. Not our bro hug, like this.
yeah.
Go back on the field, game time touchdown.
Yeah.
Last week, number 4, I don't know, I can't remember his name. The boy was balling,
The
14. Receiver. After the game, or after he made a play. He ain't been playing, I ain't seen him catch all year.
Right.
Won the game pretty much at receiver. 8 catches,
Yeah.
1 whatever. He said that he came up to Deion and he was excited. And he said something, and Deion said, you did this? He said, I love you, coach.
Yeah.
On the sideline in the game, man.
Right.
You ain't doing that with Nick Saban. I don't care what nobody say. It's business with them. I love you, coach. Guess what Deion said?
What?
I love you too. For real.
For real.
Let's go.
For real.
Right.
For real.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
almost cried, man.
Hey, Y'all got me watching the game. When they play tonight.
That's right.
Tonight, yeah.
All right, well,
Hey, Talik, it's that much love on that side.
no,
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah.
like
And
I love watching the, I love watching the clips when they come through my phone.
yeah.
I love the support. I love what he doing. Always been a fan of Deion's, and it's good that we talk about Deion because he ran Atlanta.
Yeah.
When we
yeah.
at right here. But one thing that I really just admire that his ability to be able to be there with his sons, and to be able to walk that walk and be able to, and then his sons, they're experiencing, and it's almost like you moving along with them, and everybody not blessed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Most parents is only being able to teach their kids at little league,
Right.
maybe high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of fade out from there. But being able to go to college and being able to demonstrate that on a high level, and even right now, I even see him going when he get that chance to go, when his sons get that chance to go to the NFL. I see Deion going to the NFL coaching. That's the type of thing that I see. And not only that, he's capable of doing it.
Absolutely.
So shout out, kudos to Deion, man, his family.
Yeah, man.
The only thing that scares me is the possibility of scandal. Because all of that, as much as all of this is, under the microscope or whatever, or actually, I'm sorry, in the public eye, I pray that there's no scandal that comes. And I'm pretty sure, I would think that that's something that he probably harping on.
Brother
Man,
Muhammad, Brother Muhammad, can I help you with
that brother
this?
is
Not
sharp.
only on his children, but all the players of that team, to make sure that there's no scandal, because the whole world is watching, yo.
I think I'm with you, but I want to say it differently.
Okay. Yes.
I want to say what scares me is them trying to create a scandal. to
Yeah.
bring it
Right.
down.
Exactly. That's exactly.
That's what scares me, because he's revolutionizing the whole college football system,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because once they change to that NIL and open the gate up like that, he has mastered it better than any of them because of who he is.
Right.
I think they said Shadul making like $4.8 million.
Yeah.
It's a perfect storm of timing with the NIL, right?
Right.
And his style of charisma.
Wow.
And his style
he
of
drive
charisma, 'cause
around
now
in
they can make money.
Yeah.
Maybach or Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I don't know what he got.
I know you said
Rolls
focus,
Royce. He got a
focus
Rolls
on the
Royce.
family thing, right? And not the Jackson State HBCU thing. But to me, and this is what I would hope will happen ideally, but again, I read an article where since Nick Saban been at Alabama, they built like 46 to 50 new buildings. Enrollment has increased by like 15,000 or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the backs of our players, right? And so when I've read, and you can look it up, maybe my numbers aren't exact. I like Colorado Buffaloes back when Cordell Stewart was there, and Eric Bieniemy, and Darren Hagens and McCartney. You know what I mean? I had a Colorado.
Back
Hey,
Michael Westbrook.
Yeah.
They had the black uniforms. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And even the Hagens quarterback had a baby with the coach's son, and that whole scandal and how that dude was a strong Christian.
The coach's son or daughter?
The coach's daughter.
All right, thank
The
you.
quarterback.
That could happen these days now.
Oh yeah, man. But in saying that, you look at Colorado has about 33,000 students, 2% black. So
2%, bro.
2%, bro. So that's less than 1,000. That's like 600 and something students, right? And so just imagine if Deion could win at Colorado, then say, hey, listen, I'm going to Jackson, I'm going to FAMU, I'm gonna go to A&T, Hampton, Howard, I'm gonna go to HBCU, Southern, whatever it is. Let's put 60,000 people in the stands every week, right? Let's build our school of journalism. Let's build our school of business. Let's build our medical school at a HBCU, right?
But
Let's
that's
win
why
the championship.
people was upset he left.
Let's win a
Because
championship
John,
at this level.
John, you saying him go back to do that? I just think he's too big for. I think.
So why?
I
so
think
now
his
he's too
reach. No, listen to. Let me finish.
Go
I think
back.
his reach of influence cannot be contained by the current state of those institutions to do what you're saying he should go there to do.
Well, I'll never say
It would take
should or
10
would.
years,
I would
12 years to build the financial infrastructure if everybody were committed to pull this off.
Well-
And I say this, the same way when I used to teach at an all-black school, right? I used to be like, man, they need a black, I'm going to be at a black school. We got black students at the white schools too. Who gonna go be there for them? So
Yeah,
we got these athletes at these PWIs. We still need dynamic, life-changing men there. The HBCU issue,
Yeah.
we got to solve that more as a community than putting it on
Right. One
big personalities
right,
to solve it,
personality,
in
yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
Facts.
I mean, Deion could go to Colorado. They could say we got $4 million right now. We got NIL. Now, what I do agree is I would love to see our entertainment community get involved in this NIL game with colleges and institutions. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see Jay-Z,
but
Diddy, all these
these-
people that got.
these-
Let me finish. These millions, go build the NIL collaboratives at the 1AA schools, and build the NIL collaboratives so more kids are more attracted to go to these. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right,
it's multiple layers to me.
Yeah, I mean, these schools that didn't even allow us into the school, right? Until Bill Bryant got smacked by USC with black football players, right? And now we in the school building up those schools. That's all I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And with the players from Eddie Robinson and Grambling and Jackson State history, right? If we could do it, and that's probably easy to do in basketball because you can get 7, 8 players and compete and win a championship versus football. You need a whole lot more athletes and players, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that would be, and again, it's not Deion's responsibility to
Okay,
do
you
that.
just said it'd be nice to see it done.
Yeah, it's not his responsibility to do that, right? If he don't do that. But again, you got 660 black students at Colorado. I bet 250 are athletes. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He's doing wonders for that economy, right? But again, I'm not blaming Deion for doing what he's doing. This is just what I would like to see.
Do you
down
think
the
they'll
road.
have more black students at Colorado next year? I do.
Maybe.
I think
And,
they
and
will.
by the
All
way,
right, for
hey,
sure.
Virginia State, Virginia Union. We got we represent Charlottesville with a Cavalier gear on today though, but yes, sir.
Yeah, I definitely I don't know what I was gonna say.
Well, I'm gonna say this then. Why you talking about that is what Corey's talking about with the love, right? As far as going to a HBCU and when the teacher knows who you are and they sincerely cares for you and sincerely want you to be successful. You can't measure that. When you go into
I
other
agree.
schools and the teachers really don't care about you, you're just a number of some of these bigger schools. And even, but when that person sincerely wants you to succeed, sincerely will get on your ass when you mess up. But give you a hug like Deion. You can't put a price tag on that.
Right.
And like you said, I'm here to father these kids and raise successful men. He know 95% I'm not going to the NFL. Probably 98% I'm not going
Yeah,
to
he
the
said
league.
that. He
Yeah,
said, I
you're
want
not
them
going
to
to
be
the
good
league.
fathers and
Exactly. And be good contributors to society.
Peace and blessings to all of our businesses who are interested in advertising. We have great affordable rates. And if you'd like to advertise on our B2M Crew podcast, please reach out to us at b2mcrew5@gmail.com.
one of the things, man, that I think that was interesting, and I enjoy that when I'm dealing with, it was heartwarming to me because I feel that way when my sons will have to answer that, but the way they joke around with his sons, I enjoy that with my sons. Like,
Yeah.
he got his toes cut off, right?
Yeah.
They joke with him all the time about how he can't keep 10 toes down.
Yeah.
Or, dog, you ain't got no toes. And it's all so
Love.
funny, and they can laugh at each other. And you can't do that when there's no deep love in the house, man. You know what I'm saying? Because my sons are jawing on me with the quickness, or I jawing on them, and it ain't anybody can get it in the house any given day, depending on if you come in there sideways, it's all right. And I really do love seeing that, man, because at the same time, this is the other point I want to make about the love and his parenting, Joaquin. At the SWAC championship game or the Heritage Bowl, Shiloh is the starting safety. Deion got a rule that you have to be wherever you got to be. Say if it's 7 o'clock, his rule is you got to be there 10 minutes before 7 or you late, right?
Mm-hmm.
His son showed up at 7 for the SWAC championship game. He didn't play.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't.
And he said, I decreasing my son rankings. You know, he do his children rankings.
Yeah.
He said, oh, Shiloh not mature right now. He
Yeah.
had to sit out. I ain't letting him do that. This the SWAC champ. Now, if I coach my son, it'd be hard for me to keep him out the. I know it would, but keeping him out of a college championship game when he got aspirations to go in the league,
Yeah.
and do that, and now he has the same Shiloh is at Colorado leading a higher division of football and tackles and doing everything Deion said he's been on it. I mean, that's some serious love right there, man.
Yeah, I coached my sons for many years in basketball and football. And I would tell people all the time as a coach or as a father coaching your son, it's only two circumstances that you feel really comfortable coaching your son. Two.
Okay.
And that is when they are the absolute worst person on the team and when they are the absolute best person on the team. You know, when they the best person on the team, ain't nobody arguing about their playing time. They can play as long as you want because we want to win, leave him out there. All right? When he the worst player on the team, he never really plays a whole lot. And when he do get in the game, everybody like, oh, that's so nice.
Everybody wants to see him be successful.
Yeah, everybody wants to see it. But if he's anywhere in the middle, it's always controversy and strife over playing time. Why he in front of him? Why he playing more than he? Why is us? He only doing that because it's his son and all that stuff.
Right.
And so to see him actually navigate it is absolutely amazing because he took some criticism when he left Jackson State and went to Colorado and was like, I'm coming to Colorado and I'm bringing my luggage and it's Louis, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he like, hey, listen, I'm bringing some dudes with me and if you don't like, you might as well get in the transfer portal now.
Right.
And I heard somebody ask him, it might have been on 60 Minutes, you know, why did you say that?
Yeah.
How you feel about the kids that left after hearing you say that? And he said, that's fine. He said, because if just words made them leave, they weren't built for this. If just words made you leave, you weren't built for this.
And it was a test. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was some that was like, well, you know what? I'm not going to know.
I'm going to stay. It's tight end.
Two of the ones that stayed, the tight end and the safety, they got the pick in the first week, stayed.
Yeah, exactly. They built for it.
Yeah.
So to be able to come in and coach us and it's so, like we were talking about in another episode, talking about accountability without being emotional.
Right.
You know, when you make your son sit out a championship game, you know, that
hurt
is,
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was him putting his emotions in check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And more importantly, there was a time when he was able to demonstrate not only his authority through title, but his moral authority. And re-emphasize, yo, we doing this on a level where morality is important and my moral authority is going to be intact so that when we have other crises that pop up, that potential scandal that may pop up, we're going to handle that like adults, mature, responsible adults. We're not going to hide from it. You know, we can't never say that ain't nothing going to happen. Something can always happen.
Yeah.
But it's not about what happened. It don't matter whether it's a corporation or a football team. It don't matter what happened. It's about how we handle what happens. You know, and how we take on the challenges and assume responsibility. The reason people stop going to certain stores because something happens is because those stores don't want to be held accountable for what happened. And they don't want to own what happened and apologize or whatever it may be. So teaching those young fellas how to be responsible, and we're going to own whatever happens in this environment, and we're going to stand up to it, that's everything. Because I used to say to my players all the time, if you quit on me now, you're going to quit in the classroom. If you quit on me now, you're going to quit on your family. If you quit on me now, you're going to quit on your wife. You're going to quit on your kids.
Wow.
Quitting ain't nothing but a muscle. And if you quitting now, it get real strong. And it get easier to quit. You know? And so let's see what you make. Every year I was out there with my kids, it was about being an example and setting an example for them and building the character that they needed to be able to go out in this world and take on those challenges. That's what it was all about, you know? And so I wanted them to understand, ain't no quitting in here. You know, you're gonna finish this and you're gonna hang in there. And of course it's gonna be tough sometimes, but that's okay. It's supposed to be tough. It was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
Right.
It was easy, everybody would be Division I athletes with the number on their chest, getting to run out the tunnel on Saturday. That's not an easy thing to do.
Right.
And so this how we gonna operate, you know, and I'm expecting you to take these values that we learn in this environment and go be great men.
Apply them, yeah. Apply them
And
in
go
life.
be great global citizens.
Yeah.
And go be great fathers and go be great executives and go be great whatever it is, scientists, artists, musicians, screenwriters, teachers, whatever it is, whatever field of play you choose to go into, go be great at that. You know, because this is your last time in the world where everything's taken care of for you. You know, we're giving you a place to live. We're giving you money for your apartment. We're giving you food.
he's
You got
talking about that
food.
accountability
Yeah, exactly.
piece, yeah.
We're giving you all of this. And one day you're going to be responsible for doing all of that for yourself. And not only just for yourself, but for other people in your family. All right? And how you going to handle it. So get good at it now so that you can do it later on. You know what I mean? So that's it, you know. That's how I see it.
Speaking of the ATL and Deion, it is in the news that he made an announcement that he would love his sons to come back to the Falcons.
Oh, that's
Both
funny.
of them. They have
That's
been talking
funny.
about Shador, like them taking against Shador. You know,
They ain't gonna they're not gonna be bad enough to get Shador.
they ain't gonna be that bad.
They ain't gonna be bad enough.
Hey,
yeah,
look,
I think he is that high level of a player.
Yeah, he is. I
When he
think
finally
so.
comes. But you know what
Yeah.
else is cool? You know what else I think is fascinating? Like the fact that he will be able to come out of college this year and go to the NFL. And this is one time we know that young man is not gonna be making that decision for money.
Right.
Right.
So does he have?
That's a great
do you
I'm
need
staying
to
in
go?
college.
Bro, he making $4.8 million
That's
in
what
Colorado.
Angel Reese from LSU, the basketball player, she's
Yeah.
I'm staying in college.
I ain't gonna make this much money in
Your rookie
WNBA.
contract might not be that big.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, yo, like, bro, I used to tell my kids all the time, man, ride this thing till the wheels fall off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ride it till the wheels fall off. Because
Man,
it's gonna come a time when you play a sport, for all of us that played at some point, from Pop Warner on up to we played in college. All right. There comes a point in time in life when the sport gets too difficult for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
For some kids, it's too difficult in Little League. For some kids, it gets too difficult in high school. For
Mhm.
some, too difficult in college. And for some, they get to the NFL and it don't pan out. Or they play 15 years and then it gets too difficult for them.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, the sport gets too difficult for you. Don't let nobody tell you that it's when you should leave.
Right.
The sport will tell you when you should leave.
And you got to be
Yeah.
prepared. It's like, you know, my brother-in-law, shout out to Ron. I don't know where he got the story from, but at one of my son's graduation, I don't know if y'all was out there or not, or if y'all was sober.
I was sober.
But Joaquin was sober. for
I
sure.
was sober.
Yeah, but he told a story because you know, Jeremiah had tore his ACL his senior year
Mhm.
and couldn't play, and he went through a rough year. Man, it was a rough senior year, but he told the story of his resilience, and he said at the speech, he told the story that his son that went to a football camp. Shout out to my nephew Gary, he played football up at Fordham University in the Bronx. The coach said, I give you $100, anybody that can stand on this football. Put the football on the ground. Everybody come trying to stand on the football. You know,
Right.
Twisting their
you
ankles.
can't stand. I wouldn't even try to stand on the football. Logic should tell you can't stand on the football. But $100 will move people. Nobody can stand on the football. But they was falling off. Brought out a stack of books. Stand on these books. Can't stand on that football, but you can stand on these books.
Wow.
Right?
Absolutely.
The message.
Yeah.
Right? So while you out here understanding the importance of this game, understand, then it's a story. This game is a bust. And you got to stop.
Yeah.
Your bus stop coming up sooner or later.
You got to get
Yeah.
off one
And
day.
you got to be ready. You got to be a man at that time to be confident enough to rebuild your life. And I remember in terms of teaching that responsibility, when my brother who played a little bit of professional baseball, when it was over, it was a period of time where he was struggling with the adjustment.
Mhm.
Right.
Now I had this dream. It was going well, and it's over. Like now, and just recovering from the dream, what to do. But had he had a Deion maybe at college, he ended up recovering really well, amazingly well. But had he had a Deion at a college and say, hey, guy, or a mentor that had built that within him, telling him a long time ago, be ready for when it's over. You know what I'm saying? And we
Yeah.
can say that's common sense, but coaches got to love you, man. And I will say that I think at the other major colleges, I know some of them love those kids, but it's too many players that you see when they can't do nothing for them, they don't love them no more.
Not
right?
at all.
And I hear
Right.
Deion in that locker room. I heard him say this: some of y'all up here, cause you mama gotta eat. Daddy gotta do this. Your brother need this. Some of y'all ain't never had nothing. Then he said this, and I said, this is way beyond him and black students. Some of you had it, and it was born with the silver spoon in your mouth, but you want to prove you can do it on your own.
Yeah.
I'm covering every scenario.
Everybody.
Because all of y'all need to be men.
Yeah, right.
That's the
right.
type of teaching he going on. And really, so when he call it a ministry, I'm going to call him a pastor.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
he teaches.
sure.
Absolutely.
And his faith, Talik, shout
Yeah.
out to my brother Talik over here, world changers,
Yeah.
all this. Deion's faith is on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wear Jesus on his sleeve, bro. He don't compromise that.
He's unapologetically faithful
Yeah.
and unapologetically black.
And let me say this about that. He is. This is the next question. Shift this to this question. Talik, you a fashion guy.
That's
Shador
right.
got the Audemars, they got the watches, the trucks, the wrapped Mercedes truck Shiloh got. And they flex it. Deion is the flashiest player any of us have ever seen.
Yes.
Deion ushered in flashiness
Yes.
in the league.
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
He did.
All right, right? What do y'all think about people that say the only thing I don't like about his parenting is he lets his kids do that flashy stuff and they too materialistic and arrogant?
Well, I mean,
Because they want to be fly, Talik.
yeah. I mean, I deal with the same thing with my son. You know, at first I used to tone it down.
That's
you
why
know?
I threw the ball over there, bro.
Yeah. I used to tone it down, man. I mean,
Fit check.
when we
Tariq's daily fit check.
Yeah, daily fit check.
when we was dropping them off in private school and we was in the Mercedes pulling up and stuff like that, you know, Tariq always was like, hey, let me drive, Dad, let me drive. And I was like, nah, man, you know, I was protecting him because, man, you know, it might be real exciting to drive, but at the same time, man, you know, see somebody young behind the steering wheel. We live in the city. They might come and want to take this car from you. And how are you going to respond if somebody pull out a gun on you, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I was always, I wanted him to get the feel of it, but at the same time, I didn't want him to, I didn't want to expose that level to him because I was worried about safety. And then there was some times where we would let him take the Mercedes to the store a short distance and come back home and stuff like that. And then eventually, you know what? I said, you know what? He young, man. Let him do his thing, man. I'm not even going to bother him.
I was going to say, when
And-
you think about Deion, because they all out there. You can think it's on.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm
Shador
about to
got
tell
a
you.
Rolls Royce.
So Tyreek, he do his daily fit check. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And he flossing. You know what I
Right.
mean? He might have, you know, his Louis gear on, Gucci gear, or, you know, whatever he wear, you know, and he do his thing, you know. And he have his suit on as well. He flexing. He got his Michael Kors, and all, you know. And so I don't even bother him.
So
now.
what if somebody say you letting them be too flashy? You raise them to be too flashy.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Because guess what? You know, hey,
Are you agreeing with it?
I don't have a problem with it. If he flashy, flashy. Guess what? He as long as he can support
But
it.
they said he too flashy.
What is too flashy?
I don't know.
You know,
man.
hey,
I
sometimes they say we too a little bit of everything. But you know, matter of fact, I prepare him with the tools that make him feel confident, and he can go in any room.
But a lot of times when people flashy, they saying it's some type of indictment on their character because they don't recognize it's just a material thing.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
being that's the
Well, that was
Right.
the point. That was the point
Well-
I was gonna make. I heard TD Jakes say one time, you don't have to worry about what you give them or what you put on them, as long as you know what you put in them.
Right.
And
That's
so
what I want to talk about.
And
yeah.
so when you know his character is intact, you know
Right.
he does not value Louis shoes over good character.
Right.
You know he does not value, AP watch over how you treat your fellow man.
Right.
And so as long as you know that, it's not an either or. It's a both. You can do both.
And it's
You
simple
can
as
do
this.
both. And
This
it's
is-
okay to do both.
This is a business, man. It's simple as that.
Right.
It's marketing. It's selling. Deion did it back in the days because DB's corners weren't getting paid like receivers or other positions.
That's what he
quarterbacks,
said.
running backs. So I got the skill, I got the talent. I know I can make an impact on the field. So now I got to sell and market myself, and that's what he did.
And
And,
nothing
and,
wrong with
and like you say,
showing that you reaping.
He gonna end up getting an NIL. He gonna get a watch
fruits of your
deal
labor
soon.
and whatnot.
Because you know
already.
why? Because they doing it at soccer games and stuff now, Little League.
Especially when you see professional players doing what
Yeah.
a college guy's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know the impact of the cultural phenomenon
right.
when you see it going in reverse.
And Deion don't cuss. He don't drink. He don't smoke. You know,
Sound like Waukee. But Waukee cussed on it.
he got one
I
weakness.
do
though.
cuss.
Yeah,
I
he
do
did
cuss.
cuss. But the other thing
Tell
is
on this junk, though. Not on the podcast.
Hey, but the other thing is, man, hey, man, his dad a fashion man. So
He is.
I love fashion. So you know what? That's just gonna be a part
Like
of his.
Deion was trying to rap
Feel
and
good.
everything.
Yeah.
More
back then.
importantly, man, you can't let other people put their limitations and expectations on
Must
you.
be the
sure.
money.
And so that's what he teaching his young men.
Yeah.
They're
Must
like,
be the
yo.
money with the
Yeah.
jerry girl.
Deion hands be like,
Look like Lou Young for real.
exactly.
Hey,
Love
look,
it.
Character-wise, on the fly stuff, they interviewed Shador after the game. I think it might have been after they upset TCU or Nebraska, one of them, right? They said, let's talk about, so this the same dude.
Yeah.
Watch, all this flexing. I'm that dude talking trash. I got a Rolls truck, the Rollie. Two
Yeah.
don't do this. He referred to himself as two. Two don't do that,
Yeah.
They jokingly do that. They said, what do you think about the level of play at this game? He said, everybody, talk about, the level of play. And, everybody, we coming from a HBCU, you know what I'm saying? And they put their pants on just like we do. And it really wasn't any difference. He said, honestly, the only difference was the dudes, they get off the blocks a little quicker. But other than that, it's the same athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, and we coming from a small, and we just supposedly coming from an HBCU. He did not have to represent HBCUs right then.
Right.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't have to say that. He didn't have to say anything about this whole HBU thing and we now moved here and showing y'all we could do it here. Because he's pulling back and still supporting those that are still at the HBCU.
Yeah.
And, look at these HBCUs. In one game, them Bama's won the game for that last game they won.
Yeah.
It was like 4 or 5 Colorado dudes, including the Mexican kicker, Jackson State dudes, that came through and won the game. They had a big game. But so their character, when you hear them outside of joking and playing and just hear them, their character's intact, bro.
I mean, it's a couple things too that's important that I love about them. Because I know a lot of guys when they coach, they think coaching is Bobby Knight style, screaming. You know what I mean? Some other guys think they a genius with all the X's and O's, right? And my whole thing is about the balance. And I get this from Talik. As far as he's a big believer of speaking life into your children, right? Speaking life and speaking. So I've been trying to incorporate that And as far as the coaches, he always does that with his kids. He does it with the other players too.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And so my thing though, dealing with coaches who coach my son, you can get on them, but as hard as you get on them, you got to love them up too.
Yeah.
It has to be that balance.
Right.
You
I like
understand what I'm
that.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't get on them without showing them that you really care, because it has to balance itself out. And so I seen them dig into them and then love them up at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's a balance that we all have to have as parents, as coaches, as teachers. Speak life into them, and you know that I got your back, and I love you, and I'll hold you accountable. And right is right, and wrong is wrong. And when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm gonna get on you for that. The other thing is, most great players don't make great coaches. You know?
That's
and
true.
he's turned out, and so a lot of people question that, right? Question, oh, he's just a recruiter, he's just the other. And one of his sayings that I love is, don't let my confidence feed it. I'm not gonna, how's it saying?
Don't
Be
allow
in
my
your-
confidence,
feed into your
insecurity. Yeah.
Right? And so, hey, I'm a coach, but I'm hiring head coaches to be on my assistant staff. I hire some awesome people because I'm confident enough to hire guys that may be sharper than me in this particular situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm more than just a recruiter. You know what I mean? I can coach, and I love that about them as well. I just appreciate that.
I
Because
do.
great
I was
players
gonna
don't
say
make
that
great
in
coaches.
response to the scandal piece. I think
Yeah.
the smartest thing he's done so far is the people he's put around him.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of trust that he's done the same thing on the non-athletic side of the program to make sure they got good tutors. Like I saw a meeting with the female tutors. Hey, none of y'all having sex with them.
Yeah.
He was on that type of time. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we don't do this. You got to wear a tie. I mean, I think they can't wear slides on campus. Like he got them
They
kind of old
they
school.
wear suits from Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
You know, I know Jackson State got
Yeah.
that. All the players
Have
were
y'all
fitted
heard
with
of
that.
Deion being in any scandal at all?
When he tried to kill himself and all that stuff
But
going
that's
on
a
back
personal
then.
thing.
It
That's
was.
a
It was. I mean, that was.
Hey, the worst thing he did was when we seen him in Magic City back in '93.
Yeah. We was in there
Y'all
too,
saw
though.
him, man.
We was in
Y'all
there
didn't
too.
see Deion Sanders in Magic City.
Man,
Yes, sir.
every week.
Oh,
sir.
okay.
Because we was in there every week.
We done
It
a
might have
whole
been nice.
podcast. We done a whole podcast extolling this man's greatness and virtue and how he did this wonderful walk. And y'all putting out there that he was in the strip club every week
But
in '93.
the point
Come
is,
on,
it's about human growth and
He's just a
development.
man.
So just as
Yeah.
we have grown as in the young men, so did Deion.
Let me
And
ask you
so,
this.
Yes.
here's the thing.
Let me ask you this
All right,
though.
go ahead.
Deion was playing for the Falcons, right?
Yeah, who was we playing for?
Where y'all get money from?
Hey,
We didn't have none.
didn't have a penny.
They sitting up in Magic City with no money,
All
drinking water,
All we had was swag.
ordering water.
In fact, almost got us put out one night.
They let y'all sit in there with no money, not ordering nothing ever.
Hey, we got one drink.
You did. I ain't get no damn. I almost got us put out over $10. But that's another story.
Hey,
We
that's a
ain't
whole
talking
nother
about that.
story.
I can almost
Hey, my
imagine what happened.
16-year-old
I wasn't
cousin
spending
that
no $10, man. I ain't
Yeah.
spending no $10 in there, man. I was just in there.
Mm.
I wasn't spending no money.
You must have touched her arm or something, and they said you asked for it. Oh, okay, all
Oh,
right.
hey, we ain't gonna talk about that.
Hey, look,
That's another show.
hey, look. But look, man, go ahead, bro.
No, the thing I want to say on a serious note is that, you know, we this show is about fathers and sons
Yeah.
and raising and all that stuff. And so the thing I would want to point out to all the fathers that coach their sons is that to make sure you out there for the right reason.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't be out there for your ego. Don't be out there because you want your son to be the star player.
Mm.
Don't be out there because you want to sleep with the mamas. Don't be out there.
I was wondering if that was gonna come up.
Hey, look, me and my wife, Patrice, we used to always joke. We joke all the time, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I would be walking off the field when I was coaching or come up to the field,
Uh-huh.
and the mamas be like, hey, coach. And so we get in the car, she be like, hey, coach.
That's funny.
I be like, you know,
You gotta
That's
be out
right.
there
what
for
can
the
you
right
do to play
reasons.
more? You know,
You gotta be out there for the
one
right
coach told
reasons,
me, he was
man.
like, man, I'm gonna go around there. One coach I was coaching with, man, I'm gonna go around there and work with that boy, man, on the days we don't practice.
Went to the whole.
Hey, that ain't
And
the
what
goal,
else
but it
not
comes
to-
to you
what-
like
what-
that
what do they
sometimes.
need? You
Okay,
go
I'm
on
sorry.
We digress again.
But
man.
what I was doing was showing you, bringing context So you saying don't sleep with the mamas? Okay.
Yeah, be out there for the right reasons
Yeah.
because you trying to raise good, strong, moral, principled men. And if you are one of those coaches out there for the wrong reasons, know that you're doing more damage than good.
Right.
Yeah.
You're doing more damage than good.
Yeah.
If when the kids are watching you and observing your behavior and it's foul, they see it. Make sure you're not engaging in foul behavior, around those kids. Make sure that you're not being unfair. Make sure that you don't bring an agenda to the field when it comes to this kid and that kid or your son and my son going to be the point guard. You know what I mean? Or my son going to be the quarterback. That's a bunch of nonsense, man.
Hey, man,
you're doing more damage than
You
good.
sports done going off the rail. Ask Aqib to leave. And his brother committing a murder out there.
Yeah.
Right? And you, like you said, and not only this, you always talk about don't be focused on winning. And that's the other thing is because focusing on winning is what makes you be unjust as a coach.
Absolutely.
Right.
In too many situations, you too hell bent on that, so you start being unfair. I'm gonna give y'all a story. My son coaches Little League 10 and under, right?
Now?
Yeah.
I ain't know
12 and under team. I'm not gonna name the team. But
what sport?
football.
What's their record?
Football. His team, they 3 or 4 and 0. They good.
Oh, well, you can name the team.
I got a good coaching team.
Oh, okay.
I can't name the team because I'm about the story I'm about to tell.
Oh,
you.
okay.
And Little League, I just like got a little Belichick coaching tree something up around Maryland area. Now, look. The best player on the team, on the 12U team. The players had a good game Saturday. The coach said, you know what? We're going to buy y'all pizza Monday. Y'all, yeah. The players got to practice, had a horrible practice Monday. The coaches sent the team moms to go get the pizza. The team moms went to get the pizza.
I see what it's
When they got back, they practiced bad. You know what? Y'all ain't listening. Ain't nobody getting no pizza. Team moms don't went and got pizza.
Pizza there now.
Mind you, the kids bucking, they mad. Guess who ate the pizza in the parking lot?
The coaches.
The coaches. This wasn't my son's coaching staff, the other one. He telling me the story. He told me, he said, I said, what you say to one of them? He said, no, I said, man, I told y'all out of pocket. So y'all out of pocket. So then the next day, the best player, he don't come to practice, right? And his little brother is on my son's team. I said, where your brother at? He said, he ain't coming. He mad. Why? Because the coach said he was going to give him some money and they ain't gave it to him. He 12 years old. And before that, my son was like, man, the quarterback nasty, right? he said, his team been losing, but he done stayed in the program. I said, man, we got 1 million teams up there, right? So I'm like, I wonder why most parents would go find a more competitive team.
Yeah.
Now I know why he been getting paid. He's 12. And he ain't going to practice. I said, did his parents, y'all throw him out the organization, the coach, and what is the parents know about? I mean,
Oh my goodness.
so
This
my
is
point
terrible.
about the character and coaching and getting into it
Yeah.
for the right reasons. And Deion, he started the Truth program when his sons were in Pop Warner.
Yep.
So for anybody saying he's a new coach,
Yeah.
he been coaching since Shiloh's what, 23, 24?
Yeah.
He been coaching since he was 7 years old.
Exactly.
And the head coach, he led an organization. He put his own money and built a nonprofit, built a charter school
Prime
with a
Prep.
team.
Yeah.
He know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So shout out to our brother. Man.
One of the things I did want to just point out before we ended the show was I wonder if those what's some of the examples we gave of the other players that's not his sons or whatever, right? If they realize that benefit of having him coach his sons and them reaping the benefits of how he treats his sons, he treats them basically the same way.
I think that's why they did.
And, yeah. And I wonder if they realize how awesome that is in how they're reaping that benefit. That they're getting the same love, they're getting the same discipline, the same lessons that he's passing on to his sons, to those players. He's become the father to all of
And
those
guess
players.
what? And I'm helping keeping some money in your pocket
Yeah.
with NIL and all that.
I think the ones that do, just like, the ones that know, the people
Right.
that need to know.
Right.
I think the ones that do, it's always going to be a set of people or a set of players that that don't quite get it or don't quite appreciate it or take it for granted for some reason. You know, I've been coaching for 20 years, and I say all the time that the names change, but the people stay the same.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you always seem to see the same type of coach. Might be a different name, but I know that type. You always see the same type of player. You're like, I know that type. You know what I mean? And so what you start to recognize and what pains you and what breaks your heart is when you see the ones that you know going wrong. And oftentimes, man, as a coach, you put more time into those guys than the ones that are doing right. You know, the ones that doing right, they don't get. And so it's almost like you sending the wrong message. Oh, to get a lot of your attention, I got to cut up and act up and be a problem when the guys that's doing the right thing, you know, you're like, well, he on cruise control, he good, you know. But as a coach, we have to be mindful of that and say, hey, I gotta show this guy who's doing the right thing to love, appreciate, and elevate him and hold him in high regard, while at the same time spend some time with the player that needs some challenges. I remember one time we had a situation on my AAU team, and we was an organization, and we had a kid get in trouble. And one of the guys in the organization was like, hey, man, that kid can't play. You know, he was trying to hold him accountable. And he was 1,000% right. And so he was like, hey, he got to go. He kicked off the team. That's it, you know. And he was one of our better players. But if you know me, when I'm advocating for him, it ain't got nothing to do with how good he is.
Right.
You know, my whole point was, if we not here for this guy, who we here for? Right. If we not here for this player, who we here for? You know, we just trying to win games? That what we here for? We just trying to put players in college? Is that what we here for? No, we trying to change and touch young men's lives in a positive way so they can become good, productive citizens. That's why we here. And anybody that's not here for that, I don't know what to tell you. We ended up splitting away from that organization. Yeah. And they went on to have great success, and I admired what they do tremendously. But I just always felt like, you know, my place in terms of me serving the kids, I really wanted to be there for the ones that were not always doing the right thing.
I think it's just like being a teacher, right? You shouldn't teach elementary, middle, high school if you don't love the kids. Nobody's doing that for money, right? You're not becoming rich by that. And the same thing should apply to coaching. Now, what you teach your kid in Little League from middle school to high school is different at college and the pros, right? It becomes more of a business. But if you don't love them, you shouldn't deal with it. And you got to coach from that point of view. And like if you coach in Little League, the goal is to love the sport, to sell the sport to the kids, so they can have fun, so they want to continue to play, right? The superstar in Little League may be terrible by the time he's in high school. The kid with 2 left feet in Little League may be the guy in high school. So you got to develop. Oftentimes. Absolutely, a lot of times. And my sons was like, my oldest son told me, his brother's like, listen, Dad ain't going to treat you no different, so be ready. You know what I mean? I'm going to treat you all fair. I'm going to love them all up. And going back to what you're saying, being it for the right reasons, this is the other thing. Men, when you do, and ladies, when you do it for the right reasons, they going to come at you anyway, right? Because that's attractive to them. Because they see that you're doing it the right way and that you really care about the kids. You know what I'm saying? So stay strong when they coming at you, when you're doing the right thing. Because it's going to happen. I used to tell my ex-wife, I said, hey, you need to come to these games. She said, why? Well, first of all, they're your children. And secondly, they thinking I'm a single dad. You know? So you need to be here with me. You know?
They asked me to come coach at the house. Hey, look, you said a word, brother, that's so powerful. Love, right? I did not hear I love you from a black man until I was 19 years old.
Really?
Right? All right. Not to my recollection.
All right. Gotcha.
From a black man.
Gotcha.
Till I was 19. The belonging with that, the brotherhood, it was in the mosque.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Every day you hear like, what? I mean, y'all weird. Deion tells those children he loved them all the time. I hear that word love more than the word dominate more than everything. I love this. I love y'all. Love, love, love. So to your question, do they recognize what he's doing? Like your own children? They feel the love, man. They feel that love. And that ultimately is enough to sustain them. So when you do go coach in Little League, if I don't love those children, to your point, I should not be coaching them. Because if I love you, winning isn't important. You know what's important? That you leave me better off than you were when you came to me as a person and a player. And listen, coaches, if you do that, you 9 times out of 10, you are going to win. Because you done made the worst player better. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what Deion's doing over there. He's spreading love. Yeah. And he's opening up a major institution to love on people that he wants to love on. And he has invited the entire Black community in to that experience.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's the B2M crew chopping it up to you all about our brother Deion Sanders and his loving advocacy and support for his children. We support the brother. And as Black folks, we got to stop behaving like the enemy when we see our brothers doing something different that we ain't never seen before. Right. Because they want to tear them down and understand why it shouldn't be that way. We need to rally around them and find out how we can send somebody else to North Dakota State.
Come on.
Right. Yeah, right.
Live for Fayetteville. We're not live, but we're in Fayetteville, Georgia, taping. It's the B2M crew. Joaquin, you got something to take us out with, bro?
It is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Peace.
Yeah.
I know I was going to get it messed up one day.
And I won't stop until I'm winning. I'ma show them how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office cause I